Hello, I am presenting on a research article titled The Role of Pandemic-Related Pregnancy Stress in Preference for Community Birth During the Beginning of the COVID-19 Pandemic in the United States. And this article was conducted interviewing nearly 3,896 pregnant women during April 24th to May 15th, 2020. So they asked questions surrounding the women's fear of childbirth, basic beliefs about the birth process, pandemic-related birth stress, and stress surrounding fear of becoming infected with COVID-19. And their conclusion was that community births are more appealing to women who see being in the hospital as hazardous, and they recommend to provide more opportunity for safety in both hospital and home birth settings. And I would take that a step farther to say, as midwives, that a lot of our role is to really inquire about what each client needs to feel safe, what psychological processes are coming up for each client surrounding the fear of childbirth and COVID, as it's a ever-changing body of knowledge surrounding how it affects pregnancy and birth and babies. I'm bouncing around, by the way, because this is baby Alma here, and I'm reporting from the jungles of Costa Rica. Internet is sparse here, so hopefully this video continues. So anyway, I really liked this article because I feel like the mental health during the pandemic is very overlooked and so important, and especially for our pregnant clients that are already vulnerable during this time. It's really impacting pregnancy in an intense way, and this research article that looks at how the stress of the pandemic just first and foremost affects where our clients feel safe giving birth is really important to look at. So I had a lot of fun making these infographic and the Instagram posts, and I also interviewed a few friends / clients who are pregnant or who were pregnant during this time. And so I had a couple additional factors to add into this. And a huge one that wasn't addressed is the specificity of the protocols or mandates at each unique hospital. So in general, the research article looked at a fear or a desire to stay out of the hospital, but depending what the local hospital regulations are, that really impacted a few of the women that I talked to, their preference to birth at a birth center or at home. One hospital was only allowing one companion, and they had a doula as well as their partner, so they really, it was important to them to have their doula there. And another hospital was actually mandating the use of masks during labor, and one of my friends that wanted to birth at home ended up having to transfer, and they requested, it was a protocol that the mask was kept on through the entirety of labor, and she expressed it was incredibly difficult and really impeded her psychological process, as well as it felt difficult to breathe. So I think that could be an interesting addition, is kind of getting into the specificity of why women are wanting to stay out of the hospital. And this research study did touch on the two-folded aspect of wanting to stay out of the hospital, because it's usually where sick people go, so fear of becoming infected, as well as just the fear of the COVID protocols that I was bringing up. And additionally, that women who felt more prepared for birth were more confident to be out of the hospital, and women that felt less prepared, especially due to pandemic-related stress, wanted to be in the hospital, felt safer there. So also women who were less likely to view birth as a medical event were more likely to choose home birth, and having just less fear of childbirth in general. So I would suspect they didn't talk about the 3,900 women, 3,896 women, exactly what their history of birth processes were, or even just as basic as if this was their first, second, third, fourth pregnancy, which would surely impact one's confidence and if they'd had a previous home birth or not. So I think that this study could be greatly improved, and we could learn a lot as care providers as to how to really support women psychologically during this process, not only in finding where they feel safest to birth, but also really what kind of care they're needing and how we can provide evidence-based research as it comes out to our pregnant clients to assist them in minimizing fear of childbirth and really their need to even think about the pandemic regarding their birth, or to minimize their stress around having to worry about it. Okay, that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and adios.